Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great day so far. I thought today we could talk about tarot card reading. That's something that I do and I've done for many years. And funny enough, before I knew what tarot cards were, I'm like I had seen them, as I said the other day about palmistry, that I had seen tarot cards done in movies and um, at fairs and things like that, but I didn't know how to use them when I was a kid. But what I would do is I would take a deck of cards, just a regular playing deck of cards, and I would turn them into a divination tool. And obviously, I didn't know that that's what I was doing at that point. So I would take all the aces and I would make them diamonds were definitely, hearts were yes, spades were maybe, and clubs were no. And then with all the other cards, I would ask questions like, should we go see this movie? And you would answer, and whatever the suit was would be definitely yes, maybe, or no. And so I would do that for myself. I would do that for friends. And if I had to make any decisions, I would do it like that. And so that's one of the ways that when I started dating my now husband, I was like, should I date this guy? And it says definitely. And so I said, okay. Now, all these years later, it really worked. So when I found about tarot cards, that I had bought this deck and I thought it looked kind of cool, but I could never connect with it. And I would read the little book and I would pull the cards out, and it never made sense to me, and it never really felt like I could get a good reading off of it. And I was trying so hard to remember what the book said. So I went one time. I think it was Oakville. My cousin had moved to Oakville, and I was on my way to visit her, and I saw this little occult shop. Not quite a cult shop. It had mainly just candles and tarot and things like the crystal balls and stuff. Um, it wasn't very big, but when I walked in, there was the Rider deck, which is the kind of most typical tarot card deck that you'll find. And it was like the sun was like shining on it. It was like a beam right on it. And I said, oh, I think I'm going to buy that. So I took those cards, and when I would deal them out, I felt like I knew what they were saying. And then I would look at the book, and the book would it would have different meanings, or the book's meanings felt like it didn't align with what I was feeling. And I thought, "Oh, great. I can't do this. I don't have this skill to do this." And I even went at the same place they had a tarot card class. So I went in there and I took lots of notes, and I was trying to remember which card is what does this card mean when you get this card, and I just felt so frustrated, and I felt so like, "Ugh, I can't do this." It's just not something that works for me. But when I would pull the cards out and I would do a reading for myself, or for a friend or family, I would get these feelings and I would say, okay, well, I feel like it says this, and I feel like it says this. And they would say, yeah, that's exactly what's going on. This is exactly the question that I was asking. And I would always do a 3-card spread, past, present, future, and I would ask them to think of a question but not tell me. And then I would read the cards, and then they would say they would be blown away by what the reading was. So then I would look at the book and I would look at the cards, and it wouldn't have the same meaning. And so I thought, well, maybe I'm just reading the cards a different way. Like maybe I'm taking a different meaning out of the cards. And that's when I started trusting myself a little more. And I started saying, maybe it's not me that's having an issue. Maybe the cards have other meanings. Maybe the book is limited. The book is telling you, oh, it means this, A, B, C, D. But I'm saying it means E, F, G, H. And once I started doing that and trusting what I felt was happening and my intuition, oh, the readings were incredible. And so I started doing more friends cards readings. And again, they would be exactly, that's exactly. And I would do readings for, like, somebody would say, I don't know if I should do this or that. And I would pull one card out. Or not, I wouldn't pull the card out. I would have them shuffle and pull a card out. So, and it would be spot on. And then I started, okay, this is how I can trust myself. So I started doing readings for people. And I would do a palm reading and I would do a tarot card reading. And it was awesome. It was really great. And I really enjoyed it. And I would get sometimes feelings, or I would see things, but I wasn't sure what they were. And I wasn't sure if it was correct. So I would never say anything. And now I know that those were spirit messages that were coming to me, whether they are spirit of a loved one who's passed away of the person I was reading, or spirit as in a spirit guide message, or spirit as in the universe sending a message to them. So now when I do readings, because now when I do readings, I do tarot card, palm reading, I do mediumship messages, and also past lives. So these are all ways that I have evolved my skill. And everybody can do this. It's just you got to practice at it. And the biggest thing that I've learned is you need to trust your intuition. You need to trust what you are feeling is what is actually happening. So when I try to describe to somebody what getting a message for me feels like, it's like I say, okay, when you have a thought in your head and you're like, okay, I gotta do the laundry and I gotta pick up the groceries, it feels to me like that message comes from the front of my head, like right above my eyes. And I don't know if this makes sense. If anybody knows how the brain works, I don't know if this makes sense in that way, but that's where my self-talk seems to come from the front of my brain, right above my eyes. And when I hear messages or see things, it feels to me, especially if I hear it, and well, if I see the picture too, but if I hear something, I feel like it comes from the back of my head, like closer to behind my ears. And like I said, I don't know if that makes any sense biologically, but that's the best way I can describe it. So I know that it's not my own thought. It's not my own just image, like I'm creating an image. It's something that pops in there, and then I've learned to trust it. So if it comes in, I say it. And with the tarot cards, when I'm reading it, it's the same thing. I take a couple of, like a minute or so to look at the cards and then see what feeling I get off of them. And I've had readings where I had 3 readings and they were separated by 2 days. So the first reading and the third reading were on 2 days apart. And all the first reading and the third reading had the exact same cards. So there was one in the middle. So the cards had been shuffled many times. They got the exact same cards, and the meanings were completely different for both of those readings. Because if I had gone by what the book says, well, they would have had the exact same meaning, and they would have had the exact same reading. And they were in completely different situations. They were asking completely different things, and I was just floored that they could be the exact same cards, even though it's not like they were back-to-back readings. There was another reading in between, and the cards were very different for that reading. And that's why I think it's so important to kind of throw the book out the window and just say, what do I feel? How does this card, what does it make me feel for this situation? Because as I said, they were completely different. They weren't even remotely the same. And I don't remember. When I do a reading, this stuff will come through, and sometimes I'll remember what happened because we'll be talking about it, and so it'll keep it going for me, and I'll have a memory of that. But because it's coming to me and intuitively through me, I don't retain it. So I can't remember at all what those readings were about, but I do remember that they were very different. And I've started also writing things down because I find when I try to, especially if I'm getting a message, like a actual auditory message from a spirit, I have to write it down so I can keep up with it, because I feel like if I'm trying to listen and say it at the same time, I can get jumbled. So I start writing it down, and then sometimes the messages are coming through so swiftly that I'm just sitting there writing, and I have to keep saying to the person, oh, sorry, just a second, while I'm trying to get all this information out. And I think it's incredible. And I think that I am so proud of myself for saying, okay, intuition, okay, I trust you. And I trust the messages that I'm getting from spirit are for the highest and best intention of the for the person that's getting read. And during this COVID time, it's been difficult because I haven't been able to do face-to-face readings, and I wasn't sure how it would work. But I tried it one time on FaceTime, and it worked fantastically. So I've been doing FaceTime readings or messenger readings with people, and it's gone fantastically, and I love it. And I ask them to, like, I'll shuffle, but I'll ask them to tell me when to stop, so it's putting their energy into it. But face to face readings are definitely, the energy is so powerful, and I love that. But the face to face, I mean, the FaceTime has been fantastic as well, and I didn't know that it would go that way. But I'm so glad that I can offer that, because I love doing the readings, and I love that connection that happens, and I love when I can help bring comfort and clarity and connection to people, and that just makes me so happy. So I just wanted to give you a little tidbit of what happens when I'm doing a reading. So I hope you all have a great day, and I hope everybody is feeling love in the world. And I know that there's a lot of places where there isn't a lot of love right now, but if we all take a time to put our intention out to the world with our love, I think we can do a huge difference in our world. So everybody take care. Have a great day. Bye.